up in Belfast, and he also plays league squash for Leinster here in Dublin. Michael is one of the young up-and-coming players that a lot is expected of. B.Bryne, based in Claremorris, County Mayo, originally from Carlow, where a whole dynasty of squash players emerged through the 90s. And quite a number of them are playing here this weekend, which is lovely to see. Oh.
1-2.
1-2. The early jousting, Brian.
1-2. Sorry, 1-all.
It was, yes. Joe Ruddy's leading us all astray with a 1-2 and it's only 1-all. I was about to say there was both points where it could come from mistakes. That was better play from Michael. 2-1. We're back on stream again. Michael is the Irish National Junior Champion of 2014. He beat B.Bryne from Dublin in the final of that. Three-one. That's a lovely disguise boast from Michael. Fiddling with his laces. Oh, Brian was onto that very early and just missed it. 4-1. Quite a number of relatively soft points in this early stages of the game. Sometimes takes the players a while to settle into a rhythm and a pattern. I've been known to take three games to settle, by which time I'm 3-love down. Michael, he got to that ball, but didn't play with any conviction. 2-4. Both of these players play a lovely structured game. They play line and length very well. Wait for a chance to attack the ball. So what we can expect is to be in for a long game with long rallies up and down the backhand wall as they're doing at present. Oh, that's a very nice depth from Michael.
5-3.
Brian got to it, but only had a full stretch, and the ball stuck to the wall, so he wasn't able to dig it out. 5-3. Well, that's lovely. a flurry of aggressive activity, and then they settled to play position again. Oh, that was
And out.
not a
4-5.
well-judged shot from Michael. In this early stage, quite a number of the points have been gimmies. Michael's going for a few winners, of course, as he did in the quarter-final. He went for some of his trademark post cross-court nicks. He missed it there. That was a lovely length from Bryne. Well played.
6-5.
6-5.
And out 6-0.
6-0. I'm glad I'm not refereeing because I thought that was good. Michael annoyed with himself. He's a full stretch when he played that. Michael's biggest difficulty is that Brian's mobility is just so exceptional.
No left. No left. You were there, you should have played it. No, but you had already accepted that interference. You got there, you were on the ball, you should have played it.
Oh, that's complicated.
Yes.
Oh, that's an interesting discussion. Michael played a post and Brian was trying to get around Michael to reach it. Struggled to get around him and then stretched out and looked for a left because he couldn't strike the ball properly. And the referee judged that as he got to the ball, he should have played it. And Brian's asked if he had stopped earlier and looked for a let earlier, would he have got it? And the referee, Joe Ruddy, says, yes, you would have. So we can expect Brian to stop a little bit earlier and look for lets. Interesting to see whether he gets them or not. That's a lovely strike from M.Craig. Beautiful power in it. He's very deceptive. He holds the racket very well and then plays very good line and length. Michael played a slightly fancy shot, but because Brian is so quick, he's onto it. Again, he went for the... Oh, he paid off that time. He went for the nick post. It didn't quite work, but Brian didn't pick it up quite properly. Just fell short and dropped down onto the 10 for 8 all.
Just making sure.
Brian, as I said earlier, the referee had set himself up to a number of these early lets, so Brian tested him out that time and got his let and smiled as he did so. That's great movement from M.Craig to get from the backhand corner right deep in the forehand in one movement. And then play a very effective shot. Oh, that's unlucky for Brian.
9-8.
9-8. there's an element of cat and mouse about this, both trying to feel each other out a little bit.
Yes, that's 9-8.
Bryne clearly showing that he got to reach the ball. The referee would have no choice but to give him a let. That's a lovely shot. You can see that Michael Craig, in going for a cross post, left this edge of the court exposed, and Bryne was onto it very early and played a good deep ball. Again, Michael goes for that cross post, and it didn't pay off.
10-9.
And begin to sound like a broken record. I actually think he should be much more judicious in playing them. 10-9. That's brilliant retrieving. He could have got a stroke if he looked first. Yes, he got a stroke that time. Michael Craig knew it was going to be a stroke. And a little bit of petulance. I think he must have probably felt he got slightly suckered into it. Yeah, interesting that for a lot of that game, Michael was marginally ahead and marginally in control. But the last 2 points, when it most mattered, they were the ones that Bryne won. So, first game to Bryne. What's interesting now is because Byrne's mobility is legendary and also his fitness, the likelihood is he's going to make this a really hard evening for young Michael and test his levels of fitness. And with one game in the bag, it gives him a lot more space to do that. Because he could afford to lose a game and make Michael work beyond what would be reasonable for his capability. I mean, Michael's an exceptionally fit young man, but the one thing that Bryne would probably have on all other players in Ireland is his level of fitness and his superb mobility, his flexibility. He's totally built like a whippet. The danger is that you actually think that that's the best part of his game. Actually, the best part of his game is his superb ability to rally, to play good long line and length, and then punishing both that aren't necessarily winners, but that drag his opponent up to the front and then pull them back to the back of the court. And ultimately that has the effect of wearing down your fitness levels. When your fitness begins to wane, your concentration goes, but also your ability to make the right decisions and the right shots. And then you do what I do from the start of a game. You start going for winners that aren't there early on. So it's a long road ahead for Michael Craig. But Michael's a very confident young man and very determined young man, so he certainly isn't going to roll over. One game to love to Bryne. That for extraordinary levels of mobility and fitness. Just unfortunate it just caught the red line at the top to give a point to Michael Craig. But again, if you consider how much hard work that both players had to do in that rally, Bryne could easily have looked for a let there, but he chose not to. And I think he had said, oh, I do. I would have considered giving him a stroke for that. No, you can hear people behind discussing it and saying they wouldn't. I might have. Because one of the bigger things in squash isn't you also have to get out of the way of your opponent, and I just felt Michael didn't get out of the way as much as he should have done. Lovely. Michael conceded that his pickup on the last shot wasn't fully legal. That's a lovely shot from Bryne. He comes back into the corner and plays that beautiful float. A lovely length.
Two-one.
2-1 to Bryne. I thought that earlier ball that bounced twice. 3-1.
3-1.
3-1. It's lovely to be able to get his body into position to play that shot. Oh, Michael was very unlucky there. It was actually the right shot to play, and it would have been a winner. I think he's looking at the referee, looking maybe to think whether he should ask for that because Bryne was up his back. Not another one. Not another one. Now, what actually happened there is that Michael noticed some blood on Bryne and pointed it out to Bryne. So Bryne's gone off to repair a blood injury. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the name of that thing?
that's a good idea. So we can advance the start and have to manage the agenda. 4-1. Burn start. 5 days.
My apologies. I was called away on an issue of some urgency. There was blood. Brian, because he throws himself around the place, often gets a cut on his knee. And the rule in squash is, as in so many sports now, that for movement from M.Craig. Oh, Brian, that was a poor shot.
And out. 2-4.
Sorry, I keep getting distracted by good squash from telling long-winded stories. Yeah, you've got, if you can take as long as you like to stop the bleeding. The big problem with,
Yes, that. 2-4.
oh, I think Michael was looking for a stroke. He wasn't going to get one for that. 2-4. The difficulty for someone like Brian is that if he comes back on and bleeds again in the same place, same blood injury, the rules say that the referee can deem the game concluded and give the game to his opponent. And last year in the final of this championship, at 9-7 in the fifth game, Derek Ryan, that Brian was playing against, noticed the blood and called attention to it. Now, most of us felt the blood had been there for a while, and Derek was just looking for a bit of a rest. And Brian came back on wearing tights, as he's wearing black something or others. But I'd hate to have to describe them. I must ask his wife what they are. I'm not suggesting they're hers, you understand, but I must ask her.
5-2.
But the one thing for Brian, if that wound reopens, at least the blood won't be noticeable, so he can't be called against him, which is why he's now sporting black trews or whatever it is. It'll make his legs much warmer, though. Oh, that's a lovely touch for Brian. Very well played, Michael. Michael anticipated Brian going down the forehand side and was onto it early. And it's a lovely drive, 3-5. That's a very good width. Michael was tempted to cut it off. Halfway through the movement, realised he wouldn't get there, and he was slightly off balance and playing a shot from the back of the court. That's a very good shot from Michael. Lovely drop. Not so much because the drop was so short. It was just stuck tight to the wall and clung to the wall, so Brian couldn't dig it out. 4-6. Ah, yes, very nicely played, Brian. He saw that Michael had put himself in a position where he really couldn't cover that, so Brian turned on it and just played a nice gentle drop. It wasn't that the drop was so accurate or so good, it was more that Michael was out of position and wasn't in a position to cover it because of the position where he had put himself in vis-a-vis his opponent. This explaining thing gets very complicated sometimes. Yeah, you can see that coming. Lovely drive. And a beautiful reach from B.Bryne. Great anticipation. And then the ability to cross court the return. Absolutely superb. Michael had that clinging to the wall.
5-8.
5-8. Brian's still well in control of this. Oh, Michael. I think Brian may have thought that Michael had caught his racket against something, but he didn't. Michael didn't complain. 9-5. That was unlucky.
6-9.
6-9. Some of Michael's supporters are encouraging him, seeing a slight opening in the window of opportunity here for him. Oh, Brian. He laughs himself at himself playing that. It's a very adventurous, risky shot. It looks very good. You probably play it when you're having to knock up with your mates, but you wouldn't be playing in an Irish national semi-final. Not too often, anyway. That paid off for Brian reaching in and playing that. And I actually thought he probably could have asked for a let, but he reached in and played it, and Michael attacked it and put it into the tin. 10-7. Look how quickly Brian was onto that.
Plenty of time to get there.
And the audience are very surprised at that decision. And Brian is going back to the earlier point that Joe said, if he...
You could have got to it if you really tried. Yes, I know that. So the contact was supposed to come on because the ball you played from the middle court. Or the one before.
The trouble with arguing with the referee is you can never win. But sometimes your arguing is just to make the referee think a little bit more later. I have to say personally, I think Brian had a very valid point in it. I thought he was controlling the rally. Didn't matter in the end. Brian Byrne plays post that nicked in the corner. 2-love. Michael is gesturing to the side walls. I'm not quite sure what, talking to himself. Planning his campaign for the next game. 2 games to love down. A long road back. But we were talking about the blood issue. The main factor about it is that if the same wound reopens, the game is awarded to your opponent unless the opponent actually causes it to reopen by striking it himself. So Brian is very wise to wear some form of leggings to disguise, so if it reopens, the blood will go down inside the leggings. In squash, for those who may be coming to it uninitiated, there's 90 seconds between games. The whole concept of squash is that the game is continuous, and it's as much about fitness as it is about skill. Sorry, I'm distracted here. So they're coming back to prepare. Brian is taking a last little drink, and I'll be back with you before this third game commences. I just have to check a little factor or two.
15 seconds. Byrne needs 2 games to love.
No.
Love all.
No. Brian needs 2 games to love all. Joe Ruddy says. Oh, that's a lovely touch. Brian just feathered the ball, took all the pace off it, and just fed it onto the front wall where it died. Look at the ability to get to that ball, having been sent the wrong way. It's just extraordinary. Oh, Brian, that's a bad drop. I think he actually got too far ahead of the ball to play that angle. Brian has a very understanding wife and young children at home in Claremorris and County Mayo. I hope the children are in bed. And there's a lot of people in the squash club in Claremorris who would be very interested in their star members' performance. Not to mention all the pupils from the school in Claremorris where Brian teaches. Interesting, Brian's got one brother, Rory, and a sister, Deirdre. I see Deirdre here. I'm sure Rory was playing earlier. He's also an international squash player. And all 3 of them are teachers. From Carlow originally. Came from Dermot O'Brien's. Oh, that's unlucky. He reached in, he's annoyed with himself. 2-all. Michael plays out of the David Lloyd Club in Belfast. Look at the agility to just dig a ball out of the front and then to be able to move back to the back of the court and pick up. That one nobody could have picked up. That's a beautiful drop from Michael. Beautiful drop. Michael plays in the David Lloyd Club in Belfast, and we saw his sister playing Madeline Perry in the semi-final of the women's. I just briefly talked to her afterwards, and she said, "Oh my God, it was so hard." The pace of it, Madeline put on the ball, just took her out. Oh, Bryne was definitely looking for a stroke there. Bryne has argued once or twice, but in general, he's one of the more equitable players, that he just shrugs decisions off and gets on with the game. As in any sport, your personality has an impact, and your personality often affects how you react to decisions, right or wrong ones made by the referee. Some people like to have the odd argument. It G's them up. Others are just very easygoing, accept decisions and never comment. In fact, Joe Dowley here beside me would be one that I would say never argues. Maybe it's a teacher thing, Joe being a teacher. That's lovely play from M.Craig to create the opportunity to get Bryne out of position and then play a lovely touch drop for a 4-3 lead. You notice there, Bryne getting around Michael. Sort of bumps into him and almost pushes him out of the way. Still continues on towards the ball when it would have been easy to look for a let. Now, in that situation, very much like the last point, Michael got trapped behind Bryne, played a short ball loose, and Bryne had every right to stand where he was and play it. And he didn't have to be absolutely accurate because Michael couldn't go through him to get to the ball. That's a brilliant reach from Brian Byrne. No matter how brilliant you are, you can't reach something as struck as well as Michael hit that one. 5-4. This is a much tighter game than any of the other two, than either of the other two at this point of it. Michael got a lovely lift on that ball. This is a superb rally. Beautiful movement. Oh, brilliant play for Brian Byrne. Onto the ball very early. Played with him. I think Michael's racket actually just touched the edge of the ball, deflected slightly, but he just didn't reach it. 5-all, and Michael seems to be slowing things down a bit, looking to get a breather. Yeah, Michael's in trouble. 6-5. He didn't move for that one, and I think that was caused not by this point, but the one previous, the long rally. Yeah. Bryne called that down against himself. What he's actually saying is that picking the ball off the wall, he struck the ball twice. The ball went on the racket, then moved on the racket again. It looked good in the front wall, but actually you're not allowed to hit the ball twice. So very sporting, he called that against himself. His movement again. It's so frustrating to play against. because you're just looking for ways around and ways to score winning points. And you just feel that there's a sense that Michael is beginning to struggle. Playing lovely winning shots, and yet they're being returned to him, and he's having to play 3 and 4 of them to win a point. Like there, he just played one shot too many to get the point. And Bryne reaps the rewards, 8-6. 3 points away from victory. 2 points away. Definitely it looked like Michael hit a wall there at 5-all, that long rally. How many times do they have to do that? Look at that for... that is just exquisite. Absolutely brilliant movement. A squash is full of skill and touch technique and striking of the ball. But it's also full of just superb, brilliant movement. And that was absolutely exquisite. Sent the wrong way, able to adjust himself and just play a nice, easy touch ball into the corner. And he gets the stroke on the last point, and Michael knew it was a stroke. He concedes, takes his hand, and leaves the court. They acknowledge and thank the referee and leave the court. Bryne Byrne will